Let me start with a sentence that is going to shock a lot of people, because most immigrants have never heard this before. It is, you can now be denied a US visa, not because you broke a law, not because you overstayed, but because of your health. And I'm not talking about tuberculosis or measles. I'm talking about conditions like diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, and even the cost of your future medication. Yes, things millions of people quietly struggle with every single day. This isn't rumor. This comes directly from official US government procedures and brand new guidelines being used inside consulates around the world under the Trump administration. So today we're going to break it all down. What is actually happening? What is changing? Who is most at risk? What medical conditions trigger denials? Whether your visa, green card, or immigrant petition could be affected? And most importantly, what you can do right now to protect yourself and your family. If you think you're safe because you already have a visa, stay with me. If you think this will not affect you because you're healthy, stay with me. And if you think this sounds exaggerated, give me 5 minutes and you will understand why immigration lawyers, physicians, and advocates are sounding the alarm. So, stay tuned. Welcome back to the Next Level Life House, where we take the next steps needed to grow towards our financial freedom and success. Now, today's topic is huge. It is emotional and yes, a little bit crazy, because we are talking about something most immigrants do not expect: medical screenings, health screenings, and new visa denial criteria that are already being used at US embassies worldwide. Some people are calling it health-based immigration filter. Supporters say it is financial common sense, while critics say it targets the sick and the poor. But here is what matters. You need to know exactly how it works, because ignorance of immigration law is the fastest way to lose your case. First, let's establish the truth. There is no new law passed by Congress that says if you have diabetes, you are banned from America. However, there is a real official, a long-standing immigration policy that requires officers to evaluate whether or not a person is likely to become a public charge. Which means that if someone has long-standing illnesses, that is going to mean that they have to be paid for by taxpayers, then they become a risk, and then they become a possibility of being a public charge. This isn't secret. It is written in black and white under immigration law for the United States. Now, what is new is how aggressively it is being pushed. CBS News has announced that under the Trump administration, consular officers worldwide were instructed to take chronic illnesses and treatment costs into account when deciding visas, especially conditions like diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, and any medical issue that requires long-term medication. CBS News actually states, as a very big headline, Trump directive said visas may be denied for people with certain medical conditions. And we're not talking about contagious diseases like TB or syphilis, which have always been screened. We're talking about chronic, non-communicable conditions. Conditions millions of immigrants already have. Conditions many manage perfectly well. Conditions also that have nothing to do with criminality or public safety. So yes, the policy existed, but interpretation is what has tightened. Now let's be real for a second. Immigrants are not robots. They are human beings. They get sick, they age, and they take medication. So when the government uses hate phrases like, could this person someday require too much medical care, you need to understand how broad that is. Let's list the conditions that could trigger heightened scrutiny under a public charge evaluation. One is diabetes. Now, whether it be type 1 or type 2, the medication here would be insulin. The cost is very high. Officers may question long-term affordability. 2, let's look at obesity or being overweight. The problem here is that obesity is often linked to other conditions like hypertension and kidney disease, because you know that hypertension often damages the organs, so therefore long-term care can be costly and something that is going to be taken into consideration. The next one is asthma. Not usually a huge barrier, but severe asthma requiring medication or hospital visit, it raises the question as well. The next one is age-related conditions. Older applicants usually equal higher projected medical costs. And last but not least are mental health conditions. Now, these might require medication that are costly. If treatment is expensive, officers analyze financial ability. Now, does having any of these automatically mean denial? No, absolutely not. But can they be used as negative factors when combined with low income, lack of insurance, or lack of financial support? Definitely yes. And they already are. That is why understanding this system is crucial. Now let's break down what officers actually look at. Under immigration law, officers must consider the following when deciding if someone is likely to become a public charge. The first is age. Older applicants equal higher cost risks. Next is health. Chronic illnesses equal sustained cost risks. Financial resources, whether it be income, assets, or ability to pay for your health care. These are critical. The next is family support that you might have. Do you have a sponsor? What does the affidavit of support actually say? The next is insurance coverage. Now, do you have a credible insurance plan that can cover you for major illnesses and critical illnesses? This means that two persons with the same condition can receive very different outcomes. Now, let me give you two examples real quick. Example one is where there is a denial risk. A 55-year-old applicant with uncontrolled diabetes, no insurance, low income sponsor, a high BMI, or no documented savings. This indicates a high risk of denial. Situation 2, a 45-year applicant, diabetes, high blood pressure, managed by medication, sufficient assets, a good insurance coverage, and stable income coming in long term. This case more than likely will be approved. Now, what you see here is that the illnesses are not necessarily the problem. It is the financial ability to manage the costs related with these illnesses. Now, is this a new Trump policy? Here's the fact-check answer. There is no new public announcement, no new executive order, and no federal rule that says that diabetes or being overweight can get you denied. But however, Trump is tightening administrative guidelines. CBS News, Politico, and multiple immigration attorneys have confirmed that consular officers are being instructed to take a harder line on chronic illnesses as a cost factor. This is not the same as a new regulation, but it does change how the old rule is applied. Immigration lawyers across social media, whether it be TikTok or Instagram, are not wrong when they say this is becoming a wealth test. This punishes immigrants with chronic illnesses, and this expands public charge by itself. But legally speaking, there is no new regulation, so everything still falls under the existing public charge framework. So the truth is somewhere in the middle. Not a brand new law, not a new list of medical conditions that are banned, but now a tougher immigration policy that affects people right now. Now, real cases have already happened. Here are a few examples that have been shared by immigration attorneys. Case 1. There was a woman applying for a tourist visa. She was denied because her medical visit history and medication list suggested high expected medical costs. Combining this with low funds got the denial. Case 2 is where there was obesity and no insurance. A man applying for an immigrant visa was placed in administrative processing because the officer wanted proof he could afford long-term health care. Another one is a student visa application that repeated ER visits abroad. The officer asked for financial documentation to prove that he could cover future emergencies. None of these broke a law, none of them committed fraud, none of them were contagious, but health became a financial liability and therefore an immigration barrier. Now, how do you protect yourself starting today? No panic, no helplessness, just strategy. Here's how to reduce your risk if you have any chronic medical condition. 1. Get health insurance coverage. This is a huge positive factor. Private insurance, employer coverage, or student coverage, they help. If you're a visitor, Show proof that you purchased short-term health insurance coverage. Bring financial evidence like bank statement, employment pays, and your tenure at your work. Bring doctor's letters as well. They are underrated but extremely powerful. Ask your doctor to write that the condition is being managed, medication is stable, no expected major complications in the near future, and that you can self-manage. Also, no emergency will be needed in the near future. The next thing is to have a strong sponsor, and this is showing your affidavit of support being powerful. It is critical to show that you have that financial support. The next one is to bring your medication plan to show that you are managing your plan and that you can afford it. Also, know your story. Then look for confidence and clarity. If you hesitate or you seem confused, it raises red flags. And the last, never you hide a condition. Medical fraud equals denial immediately, no argument, period. Now let's zoom out for a moment. This policy shift is not about sickness, it is about money. The US is spending billions on public health each year. Costs are rising, and because of this, immigrant medical screenings are becoming more detailed, and administrations, and especially conservative ones, are tightening who they allow in. It's not personal, it's financial, but for immigrants, it feels personal. You are being judged not just by your character or your education, not even your background, but by your medical chart. And that is why it is important for you to stay informed, because this isn't a season of rumor, it is a season of change. Not official law yet, not a ban list, but definitely a new era of stricter interpretation. Now, if you found this information useful, even one part, please like and subscribe and share it with someone else who might benefit from this information. Thank you again for the privilege of your time. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.